No, it's time to lock in.
Yep.
It's race week, time to lock in, baby. Free pouch. Oh, nerves are starting to settle in. So, yeah, it's exciting. T100 San Francisco. It's a lifelong dream for me. And we're going to talk a little bit about why this race is so special.
All right, so were you expecting it to get a wild card slot?
No, absolutely not. I threw my name on the wait list to, just have a shot at it. You never hit a shot that you don't take. And lucky enough, the T100 had changed their ranking policy to account for your best 5 races over the last 12 months instead of your best 3 races. And because I had 5 really consistent results in 2024, it put me further up on the wait list, and I snuck into the very last wild card spot, 3rd on the contender series rank. So when I got the word that I was getting the wild card slot, I was absolutely thrilled. I pulled off the Eagleman start list. I was all in for San Francisco. It's an experience I've wanted for a long time. Ever since I started the sport, I've dreamed about doing Escape from Alcatraz. And it holds a special place in my heart, but also my family's. My parents actually met on a bike ride in Lake Tahoe in the 1980s. I was born and raised in Northern California in the East Bay, about 30 minutes from San Francisco. And my parents were triathletes in the 1980s before I was even born. My dad did an Ironman when I was, 6 or 7. And as I grew up, he actually told me, oh, you've done Escape from Alcatraz. In 1997, when he did the race, I was 3 years old. I crossed the finish line with him there in San Francisco. And back then, the race was a lot different. He tells me, you got on the boat. The original Escape from Alcatraz, they didn't even allow wetsuits. They dropped you off on the island of Alcatraz next to the jail, and you swam all the way back in. Then you actually rode up and over across the Golden Gate Bridge, and you finished on the Marin side, the northern side of the San Francisco Bay. The course has obviously changed a lot since then, and since T100 took over the pro race of Escape from Alcatraz just last year, this will really be the second ever edition of the new updated course, where you swim from the boat still into the shore, and then you do the 6-loop bike course, up, down, 6 times, and then you run along the fast, flat gravel section of the Marina Green. And it's just super special because my family is still there. My sister and future brother-in-law, her fiance, are going to be out there cheering for me, and my wife's flying in. Kyle's going to be there, and lots of other friends and family will be out there in the race. I lived in San Francisco for 6 years right after college, and I graduated, moved to the city, got a job, and fell in love with triathlon. That's where I did my first ever training sessions. My first open water swim training was in Aquatic Park, where we're going to be leaving from on the boat. And I've ridden and ran the section of this course so many times, and always thought, I would get into Escape from Alcatraz. And actually I applied to be in the pro race and was rejected in 2022. I kind of sent this goofy email to the old organizers like, hey, I'm an amateur, but I'm turning pro and I think I can be really good someday, and please let me in, and they were like, nope, sorry. I actually never heard back from them. And then they later said, no, sorry, you were rejected. So, now kind of joke's on them. I get to be in the big race with the big dogs. And yeah, it's intimidating being ranked last going into such a stacked field, but it's really nothing but upside for me. I'm just pretty grateful to be out there and experience this iconic race. It's probably second to racing in the pro race at Kona in terms of kind of big career dreams and achievements.
So what's your goal for this race?
I want to execute my best race that I ever have in my life. It's really impossible to set outcome goals when you're going up against guys that are on a different level that you've looked up to in the sport, that are literally the best in the world. Jelle Geens, Martin Van Riel, Rico Bogan. The list goes so far down. Even all the wild cards are guys that I just like, they're crazy. You got Burt Whistle, Bitados, Dubrick, Jamie Riddle, there's Aaron Royal. It's a long list of really, really talented people in this field. So I'm just excited to be there, to be perfectly honest. Like I said, I'm ranked the lowest, and not getting last would be nice. But if I get last place and I have the best swim I can, and I ride all-time best power above 330 watts, and I run, under 6-minute pace or 5:50 per mile pace, I'm going to be happy. Like, that means I'm on the right track, and I'm on the right track to podium in some domestic 70.3s. I'm not ignorant knowing that racing at the front of a T100 race is a bit of a different level than I'm at right now, but this course is really brutal on the bike, and I think if I have my all-time day, I can be in the mix on the bike and maybe even put some time into some guys, enter the run with a decent healthy lead, and I'd really like to execute my best run that I ever have. I've come off of a couple of weeks of my best run training, as you saw in the last video, so I hope that shows on race day.
So what are you doing differently from T100 Las Vegas to San Francisco this weekend, whether that's physically or mentally?
I mean, everything. I'm doing everything differently.
Well, you're also not injured this time too.
Yeah, thank God, right? So one, I don't have a hip stress reaction. Two, I was just totally worked up. I mean, I was an anxious mess before T100 Vegas. We were making too many YouTube videos. I was too intimidated by the start list. I was too hyped up being the hometown boy with my friends and family were out there, but driving to the race from my own house was a little weird. I was just in my head. My head was so far up my ass at that race. And, this one, I just feel calm. I feel way less nerves and anxiety, just that healthy pre-race jitters. I'm more nervous about jumping off the boat in the middle of the bay than I am going up against, the best of the best. And now I've seen what that level looks and feels like. And yeah, it's hard, but so is Oceanside, so is St. George. The T100 level is deeper and the run pedigree is stronger and the swim speed is faster, but that doesn't really impact me as a strong swimmer and a strong cyclist, and the run's you're on your own anyway. So yeah, it doesn't faze me. I just feel like I'm going into this race grateful. It was unexpected. I didn't have as much time to prepare, so that just is what it is. And it's really the cherry on top of an already established season. I went into this year not thinking I was going to get any T100 wild cards, and if this is the only one I get, I'm going to be grateful. If it ends up being 2 or 3 after a strong result here, that would be pretty incredible. Never say never. But this one's just upside, and I'm a changed man from making a rookie mistake going into T100 Vegas, just intimidated and overcooked.
All right, last question. Any bold predictions for this race?
Oh, well, I bet Greg Harper on the Triathlon Hour podcast that I would not have the slowest T1 of the entire field. It is a 1K run, so my bold prediction is going to be I'm going to out T1 somebody in the field because I'm going to just sprint. Other bold predictions. I'm going to say that there's an exclusive front bike pack, unlike last year, of 3 to 5 guys that get away after 2 or 3 laps on course, and I'm going to be one of them. That's my bold prediction. I'm going to ride at the front. I'm going to have the best legs I've ever had. I'm going to push 400 watts up every climb over and over and over. And yeah, get off the bike with a nice little cushion and then run my own race for 13th place.
Love it.